All right. What are we doing? We are back on our usual day, but it's another special UK edition, which is why we're coming to you a little bit earlier here in the States. What time is it there, fellas?
It's just gone 10:30.
Okay. So at least it's not too late. Sometimes, when I have bands on, from over your direction, it's usually like midnight or 1 o'clock. So at least I'm not cutting into your party time, but that's right. My guest this evening is Clay Soldiers from the UK.
Yeah.
Very, very glad to finally get them on the show. We've been trying now for a while, but we finally got to make it work. So, but before we get into stuff, we're going to go ahead and run a quick commercial from our wonderful sponsor at Poison Valley Clothing. Check it out. Allahu Akbar. That's right. If you're in the market for some horror apparel that is absolutely 100% custom made, not any kind of reproductions of anything, movie-wise or anything like that, this is most definitely the clothing company for you. Check out all those cool-ass designs. They have an awesome ambassador section for bands all around the world, too. So that's another way to get some merch from some of your favorite acts. Go to almost said it again, son of a bitch. Poison Valley Clothing on Facebook, as they're still working on getting their website up. So you get all the ordering done right there. All right, I got Clay fucking Soldiers. See, that's one of the things I love about the underground is I don't just cover the heavy of the heavy. I cover everything. It does not matter. And you guys, in my opinion, are just good old-fashioned stomping like fucking metal, just rock and roll. But I hear such a myriad of different influences, which we'll be getting to shortly. But I have to share this with everybody out there in Three Witches Land, especially if you're watching right now. Share the fuck out of this broadcast anywhere and everywhere, because they need to know about it. All right. So you guys posted, about the interview for today, and I just thought that this was fucking hilarious. So obviously I'm going to have to ask about, I think we got to a little bit of Leon's enormous dietary habits, the smoothness of Pablo. I don't know if we're referring to his head or, body part or something. The awesome skills of your new guitar player, which congratulations on that. And stats and updates from Stu. So let's talk about the smoothness. Is he quite the ladies' man?
Well, I mean, that's an understatement, really, isn't it?
Give us a couple of tales there.
Well, yeah, I mean, Pablo is like the most calmest, most relaxed, most humble guy you'd ever meet. And he comes from Argentina. He's got just this amazing accent. And so, I mean, one of the first things we can see from Pablo is that wherever we play, we travel from town to city. For us, we're from UK, but with Pablo's from Argentina. So when we go to these places, he's like really like amazed by it all. And if you speak to him, with the band and everything, what's your dream? And he's like, well, he goes, I come from Argentina, and he's like, his dream is to play music and travel. And right now he feels he feels like he's living the dream in a way. Because he's seeing parts of the country that he wouldn't normally go and see. And so that's the humble side of Pablo coming out.
Nice.
In the studio, he's really calm, really
Oh
relaxed.
man, that's good. Now
And
he's
yeah,
your
he's just
vocalist,
so
right?
easy to get along. He's like everything he does, yeah, is just super smooth, you know.
Nice.
Yeah,
He's your vocalist, I take it.
Pablo's our drummer. Mm,
Oh, the drummer.
yeah,
Okay. God damn it.
yeah,
I need
yeah,
to get to figure all that out. I
yeah,
wasn't able
that's
to
it.
figure that out on my own. So awesome.
Yeah,
Nothing like having a good, calm drummer in a studio, especially, if you have to do so many fucking takes and this and that. So, yeah, you guys are blessed. Absolutely.
yeah. And the
Uh,
thing is, if we're on stage as well, you know, if we're sort of trying to get the crowd going, you know, we'll do this and nothing
sure.
happens. Then Pablo just does a little like, and everyone just follows. It's like, oh, come on.
Nice. All right.
Mm,
I myself, as a drummer, all these fucking years, I always do my best to try to rile up a crowd, and so many metal shows and places I've toured to, drummers really are not that, you know, animated, I guess is what you could say,
mm,
trying to rile up the crowd as much. So that's good to hear.
yeah,
Nothing helps to command a crowd better than that. That's awesome.
mm.
And then tell us about your new guitar player. I didn't realize you guys got somebody new.
Over to you, Leon.
Dan, yeah, he's awesome. It was just kind of, it's really strange. I want to say fluke in a way because we, in all honesty, we weren't really sure if we were going to have another guitarist. We were just kind of like a three-piece and kind of happy with that. I mean, we were a four-piece, so it's a three-piece. We're like, okay, I probably might just kind of hang about as a three-piece and just kind of get on with it. And we just, for almost like a bit of fun, we thought this guy had some interest in us and he'd like to just, have a jam with us. He turns up and he literally just plays like he's always been with us, and we're just like, it'd be really
Nice.
stupid of us to not give him a go. It was just because he like this just blew our minds already because we jam with people and have them as like guest musicians or cameos, and we were quite cool with that. Like just turn up on stage and someone like be like, oh, here's a guest guitarist for today. But he just came in there like, you know what, he's put so much effort into this. We should just actually take him on, like probably try him out, and he's been brilliant. So yeah, that's kind of how he came about. He just kind of thought what it's meant to be, really.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, another thing to
Yes.
that as well is like, we were speaking to someone and they basically listened to his guitar parts, and he basically said that with Dan's guitar, the things he adds like a real like emotional side to his guitar playing.
Mm.
So when he comes in with these intricate guitar parts, it's kind of got a lot of like emotion to it that is like capable of building like a bigger chorus, or it kind of adds a lot of emotion to a song.
For
And
sure.
yeah, and his skill is just sublime, really. Yeah.
So he does a lot of like lead work, I take it.
Yeah, I mean, he does a lot of
Yeah.
like intricate skills that is kind of fresh. And yeah, bringing in fresh ideas is what keeps us moving as well.
Nice. Now, when did y'all first get together as a band, as Clay Soldiers?
That's Clay Soldiers.
Yeah.
Well,
Steve's good with dates. I'm terrible. I'll just make something up if you ask me.
okay. All right, so the story is this, right? Leon put a post on Facebook and he said, yeah, I want to start a rock band. And I saw his post, and I've known Leon for maybe about 20, 25 years or so. So we used to be in projects before, like really like deathcore kind of style bands.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so we come from like
That's
really
pretty
heavy backgrounds, but we wanted to do something a little bit different. And so Leon wanted to start this rock band. I kind of said, yeah, let's do it. And we tried for a couple of years, just testing the waters with different musicians. It kind of started, then it stopped.
So many bands go through that.
This is like pre-Clay Soldiers. It was just testing the waters, just trying out different musicians, and it'd be like they turn up for a rehearsal, and then they'll be like, that'll be the only rehearsal. And so we'd have to start again. And then it literally, I mean, that went on for about a few months, until then Leon come up with the name of Clay Soldiers, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like perfect.
Yeah, I like it. It's very
It
catchy.
was kind of, yeah, it was like really caught on very quickly. And then we said, okay, we're going to be Clay Soldiers. And then we were started thinking really seriously about who we're going to bring in. And of course, we put out adverts. People will be always asking us, do you have any music? We're like, well, no, we've just literally just started, you know. We don't have anything recorded. And we had a kind of vision of like what we wanted to do, what we wanted to sound like. We had like a kind of a goal in mind. But yeah, we had nothing recorded. And so we had this question every single time. People didn't really trust us as much because we didn't have any music to show. So in the end, what we did was we went on an app called BandLab. It's a really good app.
Oh yeah.
And it's just something you can put something together really quickly and really easily.
Yeah.
And so we laid down that's it. Yes, we laid down some beats, put some piano to it, put my bass to it. Leon put his guitar and vocals to it. And so that song Ghost was born. Yeah. And so
yeah, I was actually going to ask about that one. That's your biggest hit on Spotify.
Yeah, that's it. And so this was kind of just like,
track.
Yeah, I mean, this was literally done in just a few minutes. Just like, there you go. It's like we got some music now. So then that's how we started. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. We got the drummer on board, which is Simon to begin with, and then we decided. At the time I was learning a lot about social media because a lot of our projects were pre-internet. So this was all before the internet. So I had to relearn social media and all of that. And a lot of the things I was seeing was that we had to release music to basically start off. And so the three of us
get people interested in what you're doing.
Yeah. And so we released Ghost as the single, and we had literally no idea that it would take off in that way. We were just basically dads, you know, that were going to rehearse every couple of weeks, just having fun. But then the moment we released Ghost and it took off, it totally changed the perspective.
Did you guys get any label interest or like any interest from promoters at that point?
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of interest from radio stations, from promoters. The record labels came further later down the line, but quite early on, that track Ghost went top 4 in Australia.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it was quite a mad time. It went top 4, and I think it's Isaac Banks Radio, Sweet Sounds Radio in Australia. And a few months later, we got Artist of the Month in New York.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember something about that. You guys were kind of...
So this all happened within the first 6 months of Clay Soldiers' history. And so from there on, we then established Pipe Bomb Radio, XRP Radio, which is a UK online radio. And we continuously got radio play from there. And as the more radio play we got, people were tuning in to Spotify, to Bandcamp.
Was that during 2020?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's 2021.
Yeah, that's how I met you guys.
When
that's really all we had, because there were no stages at that point. So
yeah, exactly.
Those internet radio stations were just a hell send, really.
Yeah. So the key with us is like, whilst the pandemic was going, everything stopped. Myself and Leon, we just worked really hard in the background to learn about the social media side, all about promotion, all about marketing, you know, everything we could learn in that period of time. You know, we just learned it because we had the time. What that did for us was that we could, quite honestly, be in a better position when things did come back online.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And of course, when it did come back online, we had the game plan in place. We had the 6-month plan of what we wanted to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And
Gotta have goals.
and so
Especially
from
when you
there
got
on,
that much popularity going on.
yeah, that's it. And so we're relatively unknown at that stage, and so for that point onwards, it's just been forward progress all the way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because I know we were sharing a lot of music back and forth. So yeah, I didn't even know that all you guys only had was one single. I figured you guys were out for a while. But I remember, what I heard, I dug, and we kind of became friends when I was in Black Tar. So I was always the online presence. So I would constantly like see your guys' stuff, and it was just really cool meeting everybody, and we all just kind of became this one big fucking family on Instagram because the world was shut down. So glad to see that now that things have kind of cooled off a bit over the last year or so, you guys are actually able to do shows, I take it?
Yeah, that's it. How long we've been doing, Leon? It's literally one a month since last January.
Yeah.
At least monthly, 2, maybe 3 tops, but it's just been continuous. Yeah.
No, that's a good thing. Because I'll tell you, here in the States, a lot of venues ended up closing down because they couldn't survive during the pandemic. So, did you guys encounter that at all once you were starting to look for gigs?
I don't think so. No, we've literally, our first show was in Horsham, wasn't it, Leon? And it's just this mad venue that was just like really big stage, at like a lounge area, like they had the stage area. It was just really nice venue, and this is called the Rec Rooms in Horsham. And so that was our first venue we played.
I love the name already.
It's amazing, and a really good turnout on the first show. I think it was about 30 that turns up, which is really good. Like post-pandemic. In fact, to be honest with you, I think we were still in the pandemic at that point, just kind of slowly opening.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it definitely sounds like people really missed going and seeing live bands, In America, it's just like people tend to take it too lightly and don't really go and support as much, because when we first came out of the pandemic and we were able to do shows again, you could really see like a lot of big presence. Like, yeah, we really miss coming and seeing shows. But now that we're 2 years since then, it's like starts to fold back again. They're just waiting for the big ticket bands to come through. It's kind of sad, but it seems like over there in your neck of the woods that people really support live music, local bands, indie bands especially, because we're the ones in the trenches.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, to be honest, I do hear that argument. I've seen that argument quite often, is that the live scene is like kind of over, is kind of finished.
Yeah.
And the people want to turn up to show injection. But we literally, I mean, to be honest, we literally can't see it, because when was the Fighting Cock show, Leon? It was about a month or two ago. About a month ago.
Yeah, quite. Yeah.
It was quite recent. We basically, the show was a sellout, and
damn.
Yeah, and it was just amazing to see. Like, it's like a 80 to 100 capacity venue.
Wow.
And it was a sellout. That's kind of only this. Every time we play this venue lately, it's a sellout, and it's quite amazing. And that's like 2 sellouts in less than a year. So that's an
accomplishment.
Yeah, and so when I hear this argument, it's really difficult to see it, because we're seeing the other side of the picture.
Well, yeah, and not to mention some of the world's biggest festival shows.
Oh yeah.
aren't too far from where you guys are too, and it seems
Yeah.
like people, hundreds of thousands of people, are going, even if it's bands that they
Exactly.
weren't
Yeah.
even familiar with.
Yeah.
So that's really good to hear. And like I said, people like Metal Injection and Loudwire always want to kind of like paint this like doomed picture of rock and metal. I mean, you can't just go by one country. You have to look at the whole world. What's happening all over the world.
Yeah.
And, South America is hot. Spain is hot. Japan, obviously UK, it's not dead, people. It's not dead. But if you're in America, please go support.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's all right. Cool. So did you guys actually put out a EP or a full length, anything like that?
Yeah, we got an EP. We're very proud of. It was we sort of.
Is that called Life After Death?
Yeah, it was because I got ill and had to retake a lot of it.
Awesome. And it seems like it's doing very well on Spotify. Obviously, Ghost is your biggest hit. One of my personal favorites is Drive It Home. So
we hear that a lot.
Did that make the EP?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's one of the tracks from the EP. Everyone tells us it's their favorite song. And no, it's good. It's good to hear.
Looks like Kyler says shift the blame or shift the blame. The blame is my favorite right now.
Oh yeah, shift the blame. Yeah. That's one song we haven't. It's one song we haven't yet released like properly.
Oh, okay.
You can hear it on YouTube,
Nice.
kind of studio or live, but live. It's always really nice to play that song, and a lot of people really interested in it.
It's a little heavier, isn't it?
It's nice and heavy. It's groovy. It's nice. Yeah, it's just how we like it.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing better.
That's it.
Let's talk about some of your guys' influences. I hear maybe some Sabbath in there for sure. A little bit of a, kind of a doom influence as far as like the vocals. Kind of reminds me of I always get Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats, only without the fuzz box on the voice, like it's clean. I really dig that. Like the vocal range is really good. The drums are driving just the way I love it. And it's definitely rifflicious. So like, who would you say really kind of influences this project?
Music, yeah. Well, we really love a lot of grunge bands, and I mean like Audio Slave, Alice in Chains.
Can't go wrong with Alice in Chains. That's one of my favorites.
I mean, the main two, like Soundgarden, I suppose. I really like Chris Cornell and those sort of things. Well, we like the side projects like Temple of the Dog. I think was that the name? I think that's the name of it.
That was when they had like members from all the big four.
Yeah. I mean, one of the striking things that we like to do is when we do write our material, when we do write our music, a lot of it is like relation to our darkest points, our darkest experiences. So a lot of we try to have that connection, transferring that energy into the music. Hence the reason for the EP is Life After Death. The last 2 years has probably been the most darkest time in practically everyone's lives. And so it's kind of finding that relation into how we transmit that into emotional music. So a lot of our choruses are really dramatic, really big. And there's obviously a lot of melody there too. But also there's some really heavy grooves as well that we can get stuck into.
Kind of get some of that aggression out.
Exactly. Got to grind it out. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like Leon says, we're influenced by Black Sabbath, obviously Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, but there's also a lot of the stoner kind of elements to it as well.
Definitely.
Like Pius, and there's a really awesome band out at the moment, Hippie Death Cult. They're just like one of the favorites right now.
The Texas hippie death, or
Yeah,
what the hell are they called? The Texas Hippie Coalition? Is that what it's called?
The Hippie Death Cult.
Hippie Death Cult.
Yeah,
I might not be too familiar with that. I'll have to look that up.
And there's also High Desert Queen as well. They're just another like amazing band. Just amazing bands. Yeah. So there's all of that. It's all of that we kind of love to play with as well. And we try to have a blend of the two. So we're trying to create that hybrid sound of the grunge and stoner.
Well, I think they work so well together.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Corrosion of Conformity was a lot that way too, where they had like the real slow, sludgy type stuff with the stoner vibe, and be not necessarily like the psychedelic sounds, but a little spacey. But at the same token, they could kick it up a notch, go fast, go halftime, that type of thing. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely get that vibe. So what is Ghost actually about?
Oh, this is definitely a Leon question. Definitely.
My lyrics now. And whenever people ask me about my songs, my lyrics, I'm just like, I want to think of this might explain every time. I could always forget exactly how I'm supposed to explain it. It's kind of like just talking about the connection you have with people, before they pass away, sort of nostalgia of being with them. You're talking about missing people and that, but I think of it in a way where it's not so much religious kind of or belief in like ghost itself. It's more like you're going through your memories. So it's more based on that, like people really kind of taking the memories with them. And when you have like photos of family members and you're keeping them, it's just like you tell your other family members, like younger family members, like, oh, this is your granddad or something, you may never met him, that kind of thing. And it's these sort of things where you share between each other, and it's a song about that really, just kind of you connecting. It's the sentimental sort of side of everything between people and that bond with each other. I guess it's kind of like that really.
That's what I like to call intelligent metal. So many people out there, like the Metal Devastation Festival that's coming up in Tennessee, which one of the bands I manage, Grave Next Door, is playing. All the really super religious people out there are picketing this thing and just saying like the lyrics are just about death, destruction, satanic stuff, which hey, I don't mind, but they do for some reason. And it's like, if you really get down to it, did you actually ask the person that wrote the song? Not everything just because it looks a certain way or sounds a certain way. If you really listen to the words. And it was just like back in the 80s when all the, people were all pissed off about all the metal bands back then, being outrageous and all that. They were just talking about stuff they felt, in some cases, like Iron Maiden, they would tell stories, which is awesome. A lot of historical stuff. So it's that's why I always like to ask all my guests when they come on, like, so was there something you were thinking about? Is this a personal experience? And that's really cool. It's definitely not, when you see the song title, you automatically think, oh, it must be talking about ghosts and being haunted and all that stuff. Well, there's always like 3 or 4 different ways to look at that concept. So that was really kind of refreshing to hear. All right. Before we get into the next segment. Yes, exactly. He must have known where the fuck I was going. So he's like, all right. So we're going to take a quick commercial break and check out the bands of Reapers Underground Productions.
Den alten Mythos hinter sich zu lassen. Und so tastet er sich blind von Zeitenufer zu Zeitenufer, bis ihm in all dieser Schwärze endlich ein wegweisendes Licht aufgeht.
All right. Speaking of diversity, here at the Underground, I represent bands from all different genres. As a matter of fact, we got Sensation back working with me again on some promotional stuff. So if, you guys here currently are in need of any kind of band management or extra promotion, I'm your guy. Anybody currently watching that's in a band needing any kind of help with marketing, promotions, and now I am also booking tours internationally. So check me out at reapersunderground666@gmail.com. All right. So we are back with Clay Soldiers here. Let's talk about Exonerate. Who wrote the words for that one?
Yeah, I've done the lyrics for the songs from the EP, but I think we are going to grab some more lyrics from other band members because I feel very selfish and.
I very much felt like you're at the front of the class and being told off then, didn't you? It's like, well, teacher, that was me, I did it.
Nice.
Yeah, that one's about to cut a long story short, it's about people who are falsely imprisoned. I've been watching a lot of documentaries, and it's just a shocking number of people who just kind of can be in prison for like 20, 30 years, almost all their whole life, and then later on you're like, actually they're innocent. And I just want to write a song about it because I don't think there's really many songs about that I know that people sort of sing about, and I thought it would be quite a cool subject. That's pretty much what that one's about. It's the lyrics, it's it kind of hopefully draws a picture. I'd like to think anyway with that one.
Yeah, that's a hell of a topic that I don't think most bands have really ever touched upon lyrically that I can remember, even currently. So, and it is kind of freaky just how many innocent folks are wasting away in the can, and just waiting for somebody to be like, hey, guess what? They lied, they pinned it on me, that kind of thing. And a lot of people don't realize that, but anything between the media and stuff like that can always twist things and make things go a different way. So awesome. And it's another song that I really, really dig too. Another one that I was curious about was Boat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a funny one because, it's all about mental health, really, just kind of like trying to get a break from all the stress and pressure of the day and things you're going through. And you need that sort of break away from it, really. That's what the lyric about the chorus, need some time, space. The lyrics in verses are more about, kind of thinking to yourself, like, I'm kind of hitting the wall right now and sort of hitting my bottom as far as I can go. I need to find a way to, break out of this and pull my way back to kind of reality, sort of propping myself back up again. It was kind of that kind of mental health kind of awareness thing. And I say that on stage sometimes, so this is about like anyone go through a bad time, like depression or mental health issues, this song's for you kind of thing.
Sure. I mean,
focus on that one.
that
Both
stuff hits home
with-
now more than it ever has because people aren't afraid to talk about it anymore. It's like, you know, I think because people used to think people that were going through stuff mentally like that were weak or, you know, get over it. It's nothing, you know, toughen up. Well, you know, come on, let's face it. It literally hits everybody. It's been like a hardcore minute since I've been able to play on stage, and I must say, it sucks. Because, you know, I've joined a new act, Drop Dead Damn It, and we're just kind of like in the stages of getting new material together. Don't want to necessarily get out there until there's some new material. So it's like, I just want to get back on stage. So then, you know, I'll just kind of be like a couch potato and watch cartoons. At least that's how I kind of deal with it, or, you know, play games on my tablet or whatever. So that's kind of cool. You know, everybody, I think, you know, needs that kind of escape. You know, even if you're just having a bad fucking day. Shit.
Everyone has different coping mechanisms and strategies.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's positive, you know, it's not bad. Or you at least have somebody that you can go to and be like, hey, I ain't doing so great. You know, make me laugh. I don't know. That's what I always do. I always cheer people up with a smile. Cool, man. So do you have any new material that you're working on or getting ready for a new record?
Yeah, well, we've...
Or kind of still touring on the EP?
Yeah, no, we are always coming up with new ideas, always writing new songs. And so over the next few weeks, we're going to be writing new stuff.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, we're always writing stuff. We're always coming up with new ideas. And now we've got Dan on board. That's like another like string to our bow that we can like tap into. Because Dan's also a really big fan of the big choruses, and he's got a real like knack for coming up with the real nice choruses. So it's something we're all going to be working together. Even Pablo has written a song. You know, of course he would, wouldn't he?
How does the process work? Is it kind of like one person likes practicing by themselves and then brings it into the rehearsal room, or does the drummer and the guitar players work together as far as the writing?
Well, it depends on the song, because we, for example, we use a lot of the time when we're writing stuff, we always use BandLab to write the initial like plan for the song. And so then we record it, and then we bring it to the studio and we work on it. But then we've had another song, which was Day the Bricks Fell, where we had the whole structure in place, the guitars and the bass, and it was more or less just fitting everything around that, and so like jamming the song through. So it depends really on the song, and what kind of sound is required, and yeah, from there we can sort of navigate through the different layers.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, everybody's process is different. You know, do the lyrics usually come after the riff is born? Like, is that where you draw your inspiration from?
Me personally, for lyrics, I like to kind of like get an emotional kind of connection with what kind of Stu is playing on a bass sometimes. Like he'll just come up with a riff and I'll think, what am I feeling like? What I feel my lyrics would be about when I'm hearing is like funky groove or something, you know, whatever he sort of comes with.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I always that's why I always love working with Stu, because I always when he does a bass line, it's always very intentional. So I can straight away I think, yeah, that sounds good for my vocals. I can see where I can go with that, and then the lyrics kind of feed off that really.
Nice.
Yeah, I always wait for some music. I don't generally write lyrics without music. I like to feel some music first and then feel the emotion of the music to make it kind of match what my lyrics can be about, really.
Yeah, it's kind of like your soundtrack for your thinking, isn't it?
Yeah, so yeah, I'd like to see where it carries me. Sometimes I write lyrics, but if I write them before the song, I'm just kind of like mucking around with lyrics more than I am actually making the song. So I'd rather have the music first, because then I could. I don't know if you sort of write lyrics yourself, but it's like the syllable count. It's working on the syllables, and we can like placement and that. And the music's there already. I feel like okay, I can get the beats in. There's so many lyrics I can put there, and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guidelines.
I don't think it.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, there you go.
Reaper's having some technical difficulties. He'll be right back.
Oh, I see. For a minute, I thought he didn't like Leon's response. I was like, blimey.
Yeah,
What
it's
did
very,
Leon?
very rude. Wasn't it?
Difficulties.
Really offensive.
He's like, right, that's it. I'm not having this.
I was taking that food, yeah. That's probably why.
In the meantime, though, check out this quick commercial from our wonderful sponsor at Dezea's Creep Shop.
All right, you just can't keep a
Oh,
good
there you
devil
go.
down.
I was going to say, was that
Man.
something Leon said?
Yeah.
I was like,
Right, I think I'm not having this.
I'm being rude
the
again.
curve. Actually, you guys better now. I guess it's best I actually got on my phone for this. Awesome. The internet kind of got screwy here, so I'm like, I'm not even going to bother with that. So I just switched over to funk. So
Nice.
I hope I didn't cut nobody off. Where were we at?
I was just waffling on, so it's all right. Don't worry.
Oh,
Yeah,
please continue.
It was just about the how the lyrics come together for the song, and how I always try to work with the music over just kind of making the lyrics up and then trying to make a song from the lyrics, because I find I'm just kind of scribbling out loads of lyrics that way, because I'm like, oh no, it's too many, it's not enough, and I'd rather have the music in the first place, and the emotion and structure the lyrics is much easier around, I find, for me.
Do you ever find yourself like, I don't know, say something goes on in the world that ever inspires you, or, maybe something historically, or ever kind of.
I think. Yeah, I can get inspiration from all kinds of different things. I tend to take a lot of it from personal experience, but if there's something really big on my mind that's going on in the world, or like, it'll definitely it'll come up.
Kind of helps people to connect to the song a little bit better. I don't know. Some people really connect to lyrics, and some people just connect to the overall groove of it, the melodicism, that. So yeah, that just goes to show you. I mean, I've asked this question to tons of bands before, and usually it's the guitarist and the drummer work together, create the riff and the drum beat all at the same time, and then bring it, to everybody else, and then fall into place. But you guys actually use a pretty good digital program just to get the skeletal.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we've got like a WhatsApp chat group that we're always chatting about random stuff. We get Leon's dinner plates most days, and which is quite interesting. You should see the size of it. And yeah, so proud. But yeah, from there we use the BandLab app that we can share through the WhatsApp group. Like everyone's got to download at the same time, and then we can all give feedback. And from there we kind of we're briefed before the rehearsal. So everyone has a bit of a play at home, and then we come into the studio and get to work. Mm.
Nice.
So it's quite it works for us. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Do you guys like book your own shows, or do you kind of like ask other bands if they want to do a show? You know, when you're doing that, or okay, because I was wondering if you guys ever played with the Coastal Fire Department.
Oh yeah, we played a while back actually.
Yeah, I'm hoping to hear
yeah.
about it. I got to hear about it because Ollie is just fucking hilarious. I love that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we was at the fire. We was at the Fighting Cocks again in Kingston. It's called the Fighting Cocks. It's and before anyone asks, yeah, cocks as in hen, as in chicken. Yeah, it's got an actual picture of the chicken on the outside, so it's all legit. And but yeah, really nice venue, really good sound. And so one band was arranging a show. They're the 95 All Stars, and you may have heard of them. And so they were arranging the show, and Ollie already mentioned to me that he goes, if there's any chance, like it comes around, I'd love to play at the Fighting Cocks. And so the opportunity came around. I said, Ollie, you wanted to play the Fighting Cocks. Do you fancy jumping on the bill? And he's like, yeah. And so yeah, we basically got it together. Got fire control department in on the bill with one more band, and yeah, it was a really good evening. Yeah, really good evening.
Nice. Glad to hear that. Because I mean, that's kind of how it works here in the States too. We do a lot of show swapping, especially in different states regionally. Is typically how the tour circuit works. Unless you're doing like a full-on kind of tour situation where you do a bunch of dates on the East Coast. Don't really fuck with the West Coast much because it seems like out that way it's just more whatever is the most popular thing is what people want,
Yeah.
And you're driving all the way from I'm here in Nebraska, so it's like, why do I want to go to California if it's not going to be worth it?
Yeah, that's it.
Kind of.
No, we book all our shows mainly. We're always reaching out to promoters, to music venues on a weekly basis. Hence the reason why we're booked out for the rest of this year and starting January and March next year. So we've already got dates booked, all locked and loaded, but it's all because we're constantly engaging on social media, constantly reaching out. And I mean, we've got about 8 shows booked at the moment, and only 2 of those, we've actually booked ourselves. And it's really quite nice now that we're at a point where we're being offered, and in a real humble way, it's really nice. But at the same time, we still work really hard. We're still working hard in building relationships, and in a positive way. And I say this to a lot of the rest of the guys that when we're in live shows, our Clay Soldiers culture is to really be humble, be approachable, and just really, like you would any business, you try to create a positive environment that people want to be like part of the family. And that's how we go about like getting our shows, through a lot of friendships that we made along the way.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, networking is really what it takes. And being humble and not being an asshole, easy to work with. At the end of the day, I mean, I tell bands this all the time. You might not realize it, but being in a band is a business at the end of the day. From, like you said, building those relationships with club owners, promoters, other bands that are in your scene. Maybe they're not, the same type of music you are, but still you can get in there and a hell of a lot more shows booked that way. One of the problems I think bands face the most here in America is when, like a national bigger touring band comes through, they want to get on those shows because they know that they're going to be packed out. But it's like,
if you guys would work together,
Yeah.
show
Mhm.
the people, in my opinion. So
Yeah,
that's really
yeah.
you guys are definitely ahead of the curve on that one.
Mm. Yeah. No, we are striving to get the bigger shows. It's a work in progress. I mean, the last couple of shows we've played, we've been lucky to play with bands like the Autumn Killers. And the Autumn Killers have played with the likes of The Darkness and Blaze Bailey. And so, you know, we're getting these kind of
What a fun
opportunities to
podcast.
play with. Yeah, we're getting these kind of opportunities now that we can play with these kind of really high level, I'd say high level type of bands.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just really about keeping ourselves on the ground and just grafting, really, just working hard. But yeah, it's something we
What it
just got to
takes, man.
keep on going, keep on trying.
Now, were you guys doing a radio show thing out of New York? It was something you guys that you were promoting back on Instagram a few years back.
What, Pipe Bomb Radio, NYC?
That's it. Yeah, what was that whole thing? Because I actually tried to listen in on that damn thing. Couldn't get it to work for some reason. I don't know. The link was broken, or I don't know. But I was always kind of interested. What was that?
Yeah, so this is a radio show. We made a really good connection through Ricky. And Ricky is from Brooklyn. He runs Pipe Bomb Radio NYC. And over the years, he's become a really good friend of ours, actually.
Awesome.
And so we're always tuning into Pipe Bomb Radio. And every week, obviously the last couple of weeks, been really busy, but quite often, you know, we're always checking in to see how Ricky is. And we're always there to support him. So we're always tuning in. He's always playing our music, and he's always promoting us from over in New York. And it's just basically an independent radio station that plays a whole range from mainstream to independent music. And on a Tuesday, he has all the fresh blood coming in. And yeah, it does a bit of chat and a bit of music as well. So the radio shows last for about 2.5, 3 hours long. A lot of it's just being part of the chat group and having a chat and just having fun, really.
I was going to say, if you guys haven't done it yet, you might want to check out Mr. Weirdbeard on the More Fuzz podcast. I think you guys would do really good on that show as well. He's out of London, I believe. So if you're not friends with him on Instagram, definitely look him up and send him your stuff. Absolutely. And the Whizbanger show. That's another really good show to go into because she does a wide variety of styles. And I think you guys could get put on that too. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
Whizbanger is Heather. Is that right?
No, that you're thinking of Happy Hour with Heather and guest.
Okay,
that's another one. As a matter of fact, I think they just had you guys on an episode.
Yeah, it was on yesterday. Yeah.
You guys are all over the place.
And that's it. We're going to be live again on the 22nd of October. Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me today, taking some time out of your busy schedule. And let's get thoughts. You know, what would you like to say to some of the new fans you've made today, and as well as the ones that already are fans of you?
I said thank you so much for checking us out, and thank you for everyone for sticking with us, for knowing us from before. We appreciate each and every one of our fans, and just want to really make sure we're sort of having that connection with people. We love it. You know, love music, and we're so glad that you're enjoying it yourself. Oh, lost my light. There we go. My light.
They're hiding
We've
people.
all been
Right, as
having
well.
technical difficulties today. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, why isn't anything working? Ugh.
Yeah, but no, it's real pleasure to have this this opportunity to have a chat. It's finally good to chat with you as well. And
Long overdue.
I've been so long, Eugene. Yeah, and yeah, I mean we're all on every platform, all major streaming platforms. So give us a listen. We've got some really good playlists. So tune in, give us a follow, and yeah, just check our shows. You never know, we could be arriving in the US sometime.
Hey, that'd be great, and I will definitely be there for that. So yeah, definitely check out Clay Soldier on Instagram and Facebook, I believe, as well. And all the Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, wherever the fuck you get your music from these days. These guys are there. Follow them, like them, share them out, and as a matter of fact, even after we get off here, share this out if you missed it. So thank you all so much, and really appreciate y'all joining me today. To everybody out there in Three Witches Land, and as always, stay heavy.